All right, mic check. Let's see what we got. All right, mic check. Awesome. All right, so let me switch it over. Hey, everybody, just give me just a couple seconds. I'm trying to get some stuff set up here. Making the show in 1 hour. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate that. This is kind of a continuation of a conversation that I was having yesterday. Oh, wait. And so what happened yesterday was I was on my way to a meeting, and I got there early. So I just sat in my car in my truck and just waited for the person to arrive. While I was sitting there, I said, "Well, let me just go ahead and go live and talk to my creative folks and see how they're doing. Impart some of my information to them, so forth and so on." I thought it was going to last about 5 minutes, and it ended up lasting, I think, maybe 20 minutes. So I thought it might be a decent idea for me to come on the network and kind of do the same thing. So that's what we're doing tonight. There's several topics that we're going to be talking about. One is what happened to black media and our responsibility to that now. Do you feel like we have a responsibility for black media? And the answer is yes. Creative entrepreneurs and why you die being undervalued. Dumb enough not knowing you are killing you. So that's three, one, two, three, four, three that we are going to talk about, and I'm guessing that more than likely, I will be veering off talking about some other topics as well. But listen, guys, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. And so the conversation started off. It will start off tonight about black media. And, back in 96, 98 time frame, Bill Clinton was in office. And let me just go ahead and say this now. A lot of black people love Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was cool. But he passed some things that were not good for people of color. They just were not good for us. I think he did 3 strikes. If I'm not correct in saying that, then sorry, but I know he passed something that was not good for us. The other thing that was passed dealt with media conglomerates. And what happened when that was passed was they were given the green light basically to kind of gobble up a lot of the smaller companies, TV stations, news or radio stations, and even newspapers. So that happened, and that was again around the 96, 98 time frame. Before that, I'll say black newspapers in particular were struggling, and that when that was passed, that did nothing more than just put the knife into it and just killed those black newspapers. So let's kind of fast forward to now, because between that time and now, there are literally probably just a handful of black newspapers, black owned news agencies, probably just a handful. Brian Allen owns quite a few of them, which I'm very happy that he's doing what he's doing. So we're going to talk about that. And let me just say this: there are some black folks who own media agencies, but their focus is the general public. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's perfectly cool. What I'm talking about is media outlets, black media outlets, that makes their focus about what we do, about what people of color do, what black folks do, the issues that we have. Could the stories that we see on the news be have kind of contain a different narrative? And listen, you can guarantee that it would be if it had if it came from a black newspaper, a black writer. It is almost always going to be a little bit different, but we don't have that. We don't have enough of it. And so something that kind of sparked this particular topic was there were several different things. One of them was LaWanda Mayfield, who was currently who was on the city council for Charlotte. When she came by my studio, she asked me how it felt to be free, and that just went over right over my head initially. And then she and I talked about it, but excuse me, the idea that this agency, this Square Media is here. It's black owned. We talk about black issues. It's kind of a unicorn. If you go on Facebook and just type in black media, but several things will pop up. And I went on, I did the same thing, and I joined those groups because we should, in fact, support them. Listen, are there going to be some of those groups that are just so far left that it's just not going to be in your wheelhouse? Is it not going to be something that you agree with? Yeah. But at the same token, if you're going to subscribe to ABC, CBS, CNN, then you should also subscribe to those media agencies as well. Let me just go ahead and say this now. Hey, Susan, I'm going to try to, Deborah Ali, look at you. I'm going to try to say hello to everybody that is kind of clicking into the Facebook feed. Ironically, that it was down yesterday. It's back right now, so I'm glad that we have that. But listen, there's a lot that has to be done with bringing back black media, newspaper, and let me just say this: perhaps not newspapers in the general sense of an actual newspaper, because so many of those things, of course, have gone electronic, of which they should. But my point is, there are some black agencies out there right now, guys, that's producing news that we don't even know about. And I say this all the time. There's so many stories out there that are about us, that is for us. We don't even know it. I'm not blaming the top three, the top four agencies for what they do. They do what they do because it makes money. But I'm telling you right now that at least for what we're doing here at Square, we're going to get out in the forefront. And I am here to tell you and encourage you that we should all encourage black media. Am I telling you to encourage every single thing? No, I'm not. Because, again, there's some things out there that just doesn't make a lot of sense. But I'm just saying that there's plenty of black writers, plenty of black editors. There's plenty of folks that are doing, podcasters, you name it, they're out there. But again, the numbers are very, very few. We go to school to be journalists, and we come out and we want to become a part of a huge news agency. And that's exactly what you should do. But at the same time, I would love for journalists to begin to get that entrepreneurial spirit in their brain, that they could actually do this on their own. Develop news stories, write these, sometimes in this case, scripts, and begin to develop that narrative based on how you see things. And I will tell you this too. Sometimes journalists have to rearrange their thinking because when you go to school, you're taught how to do things a certain way. Listen, it is what it is. But I will tell you this, that in order for us to have really good black media, we have to support it. Two, we have to have professionals in there that know exactly what they're doing. And three, I could keep going, I guess, but I'll just say number three, we've got to have things in place where you're able to get to that news readily and quickly. Again, when I went on Facebook and I typed in black media, several things popped up. And I was happy to see the things that I saw. There's one, I think it's called Black News TV. That should be coming online here real soon. But that one, listen, they were able to pump in millions of dollars into that news agency. I don't know what that really means. When it comes on, I can't wait to see it. I just hope that it's not black anchors and black news reporters reporting the same stuff that we see on ABC and CBS and NBC. I want there to be a different narrative. I want there to be a different story. I want there to be more stories about things that we do every single day. Are the cops crooked? Are they doing things that they should not be doing? You got to think about it. I mean, not enough people are writing about that. Not enough people are telling that story. But they tell plenty of stories about, the murder or the bank robbery or the break-in or keep going. And almost all of them are almost always going to have a black face on it. When I was a reporter, a news reporter, I got into it, and they said, "Well, Steve, go down to the police station and pull the reports and see what you can find." And what I noticed before that is that every time somebody would pull a report, it was almost always some person of color. So I did just the opposite. Went to the police station. I found those police reports, and I purposely found people that did not look like me. Lo and behold, they weren't crazy about it. They wanted to know why I didn't get certain types of stories. And I told them, this is the same damn stories that you've been reporting, except with a black face. So that was one of the things that got me really turned off about being in the news media. Listen, I think people like Steve Crump is doing an amazing job. I want Steve to get better so we can continue to do his documentaries. Those documentaries really tell the truth. They tell a story, and many times the stories we're not even aware of. And that's the thing that irks me sometimes. There's so many stories out there that we're not even aware of. We're glossed over with these things that we believe is the truth, and many times that they're not the truth. And I will tell you this. All of this is black media related or media related. I want everybody, if you get a chance, to go watch the movie 13th. I see this often. Some people say, damn, man, that's all you talk about. Okay, it's not all I talk about, but I talk about it a lot. But I think it's important that everybody see that documentary, which is made by Ava DuVernay. So, and it really gives you facts and figures, and it shows you that there are so many laws and policies and things in place to make sure that people of color, brown people, cocoa colored people, caramel colored people, black people cannot get ahead, or they make it extremely difficult for us to get ahead. You can't say that those guys who play in the NFL or any professional sports is enough. You can't say those executives who are at the top levels of some of the major corporations is enough, because it is not enough at all. It can't be. So, again, about black media, guys, there's a friend of mine. She lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Carlotta McMillan. She used to work with me on some of the projects that I had when she was here, and now she has her own company in Fort Lauderdale. Well, let me just say this. This is what I would prefer to happen. I hope that one day she calls me, or I look on Facebook and realize that she now has her own building, and now she has a huge production company there in Fort Lauderdale. She's servicing so many people in Fort Lauderdale and Miami area. Black, female, media-owned company. I want that to happen for her. I can almost guarantee you she wants major things to happen for me as well. I say it this way because we don't want many great things to happen for each other. We don't want it enough. We don't demand it enough. Let me go down my list before I get distracted. So, hold on here. Hey, Dan, how you doing, man? What happened to black media? Our responsibility. Now, our responsibility, guys, really is again to support black-owned media or black media. It's so funny because so many times people hear that you're talking about black media and they think that you're anti-white, and that's not even the case at all. When you've been left off or left out of the game I'm sorry, I didn't say left out, but you've never been to the game and all of a sudden you want to begin to develop your own game. Now all of a sudden you're anti whatever that is. And again, that's not the case here. Developing black media companies is essential for us to get the right information, the correct information, the timely information that is needed that we're not getting currently. We're not getting enough of it. Here's the thing. So, yeah, and you got to ask yourself, where do you get your news right now? And I would say that 10 out of 10 of you, okay, 9 out of 10, get your news from the typical news agencies, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, whatever the case. It's where you're going to get your news. Have you ever thought that perhaps what you're seeing is not totally correct? Have you ever thought that maybe you're giving every news agency that you see, that you listen to, this blind trust? So in other words, it doesn't matter what they say, you're going to believe it. That's an awful place to be. An awful place to be. I know a lot of people, this is kind of veering off to the left here, that totally believe in the Bible. They think that every single thing in the Bible is true. And guess what? I don't think so. But again, these are my thoughts. So let me just say this. When I looked on Facebook and looked up black media, these are some of the things that I found. Black Media Movement, Black News Daily, Positive Black News and Stories. These are Facebook pages that you can go to and see what these folks are doing. Let me just continue. 4 Black Centuries. That's actually owned by Eli Davis. He's on the board here. Hollywood Post, Sin Odyssey Film Festival. Sin Odyssey Film Festival is right here in Charlotte, but we don't support it the way that we should. And some of you would say, well, I really don't get into film festivals, but you do when you go out of town. You get into those things when you're away. So we have something here in Charlotte, and then you don't attend it. There are other film festivals here. Typically, they're white film festivals that get a lot more support than Sin Odyssey Film Festival. Let me continue on this support thing. Those other film festivals also get support from, or they used to get support from, the city and or county and other agencies in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, to the tune of thousands of dollars, because they thought it was just a good idea to do that. But Sin Odyssey, Trey McGriff's baby, has never gotten any kind of support from the city or county. And I think that is pathetic. Charlotte wants to be this golden city in the South, but you're not acting that way at all. We have, black folks who head up some of the major things in Charlotte: mayor, DA, sheriff, city police. I mean, on and on and on. Fire department. You would think by the look of that, but that Charlotte would damn near be Wakanda. Not quite. And I applaud all those folks who are in office. I'm glad that they are there. But I'm not putting the full weight on them. That's one person. A lot of us will not even say what I'm saying right now on a live broadcast. A lot of you won't get out of your chair and go support something like a Sin Odyssey Film Festival. A lot of you just won't do it. And I don't know why, but you will sit around and complain about what's not here. I don't see anything that's going on. That's a problem. Another outlet, another black media outlet is Sci-Fi Generation. Sci-Fi Generation. Let me go back up the list. Sci-Fi Generation, Sin Odyssey Film Festival, Hollywood Post, Four Black Centuries, Positive Black News and Stories, Black News Daily, Black Media Movement. That's just a few, again, that I pulled off of Facebook. So black media's got a long way to go. I will say this. And being in black media, we do have to support each other. We have to come together. We have to, if somebody is into broadcasting and the other person is into print, perhaps you guys merge in some way. I'm not telling anybody to give up anything, but perhaps you merge some of the things that each one is doing and you make something. Excuse me. Those kinds of things have to begin to happen. Wait. What am I looking at here? Oh, timing. Hey, timing. So anyway, that's about black media, and I'll probably end up coming back to that, guys. This is already taken damn near half an hour just on this one topic. So, let me just say this. I got this from the Huffington Post. It says, while progress is being made, there are still too few African-American owned and themed TV stations. African-American owned TV or television networks like the Black Television News Channel, that's brand new, Bounce, Aspire, Revolt, Impact, and Up are part of that legacy. Those are the ones that we know of. Again, Black News or BTNC is, I think they've debuted. I'm not too sure about that, but I want to take a look at that network and see what they look like, see what they sound like. All right, moving on. Here we are, folks. Creative entrepreneurs. And then, and again, this is where this whole thing got started because I had this conversation yesterday in my truck, talking to creative folks, just FYI. And I said, some of you are living in a bubble, and when you live in a bubble, you die. The reason you die is because you're going to suck all the air out of that bubble, out of your own bubble, because you don't know, you won't listen to reason. You won't get out of the bubble to go out and get those things that you need to survive, because everything you need, you believe, is right there in that bubble. And quite frankly, it is not. It's not. Someone hit me up and said, Steve, people need to network and do relationship building. And you're absolutely right about that. That is something that you have to do on a regular basis. You know, you need to have thousands of business cards and hand those things out as often as possible. But if you're in a creative space, you have to also create fantastic work. It can't be, oh, that's good. It has to be phenomenal work. It has to be. That thing of you have to be twice as good as the next person or your white counterpart, that is still somewhat true. You cannot get into the same doors as your white counterpart. I really wish I was not having this conversation, but it's just the truth. You can't get into those doors because you're cocoa, because you're caramel, because you're black, because you're speak a different language. Imagine that. So get out of the bubble and start networking. That's just one thing. There's one thing. Let me kind of skip down here. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was being honest with yourself on how your business is doing or what your business really is. And it's hard to it's hard to do a self-evaluation. It's extremely hard to do that. But sometimes you have to sit and figure things out for yourself and ask yourself those hard questions. Look at your account. If it's at zero and it's been that way for a long, long time, maybe it's time to do something else or time for you to kind of rearrange how you do things. The other piece is that ask a person that you trust who is in your industry how they think you're doing. It doesn't matter about how they feel about you. Get away from the feeling and ask them, how do you think my business is doing? How does my business look to you? How does my business present itself on the open market? And you have to take that conversation with that person, whether it's going to be negative or not. If you never hear negative conversations about what you're doing, you will never grow. You will never grow. Having these conversations, people, these truthful conversations, these real conversations about your business is critical. I listen to Gary Vee from time to time, and I'm really on board with a lot of the things that he says. And I'm not going to quote anything that he says. I mean, I don't have his website in front of me, nothing like that. But I'm just saying I listen to him from time to time, and his information is really on point. So, again, it's let me just hit you up with this too. When you're in business, sometimes you don't, especially creative folks, sometimes you don't know what to charge people for your product, for your service. You don't know. Let's just say that you're starting out at 50 and you discover later on that somebody's charging 150. Do you increase it? Probably so. Here's the thing though. People will always try and make you less desirable, less of a value than you really, really are, because they want what you do for damn near nothing. The sad part about that is that we black folks are horrible, or good, however you want to look at this, but we're horrible. No, we're great. Let me back up a little bit. Black folks who are in positions of power, knowing full well that they can hire black-owned businesses, are horrible about doing so. I know several people who were in this supplier diversity space, and it looked pretty damn simple to me. If you're looking to hire, more black-owned businesses, guess what? Then hire them. So here comes the other argument. Well, Steve, they have to be certified. Okay, cool. What they don't do is show you how to get certified. They can tell you, listen, Steve, in the Carolinas and Virginia, there is the Carolinas, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, CVMSDC. There's a lot to say right there. They will help you get certified. I think the certification is probably, I don't know how much it is now, $500, I don't know. But what they don't tell you, maybe they do now, but what they don't tell you on a regular basis is that this certification will not get you jobs. It will not get you projects. It's going to be up to you to get those projects. So you have to weigh whether you want to spend the $500 and see if you're going to get those projects, or do you just walk up to that company yourself? I say walk up, but you can't really do that. I'll say this. Organizations that are out there that are supposed to help you, I think if you're in a creative space, they don't do a very good job with that. They don't hold those companies accountable. They don't hold those companies accountable when they should be hiring a lot of minorities. The ones that I have seen that get really good responses, really good return on their investment are those folks who are in IT, construction, maybe some other thing. But again, if you're a creative, you're almost screwed. So, thank you, Daniel. So, again, if you want to go, listen, even the city wants you to be certified, but their certification process is nowhere near as stringent as it is with CVMSDC. And I don't believe it costs as much either. Even with the city or county, listen, the idea of trying to get projects through them, it can be can be a very daunting task. There's no one answer out there that somebody can give you that's going to help propel your business to making, millions or even thousands of dollars. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes time. It takes blood, sweat, tears. Trust me, my ass has cried many a night when things are not working out. It is what it is. But you have to also decide, what is your breaking point? And I'm not going to sit here and say, what is your breaking point where you say, forget this? No. What I mean is, your breaking point has to be one where when you say, okay, this is it, I'm done with this. Now you have to change gears. Stay in your industry, but perhaps do something else. I don't know what that is. But you have to really kind of think about that. And listen, keep this in mind too. Perhaps wherever you are living is not where you should be. Perhaps you can take your skills, your service, your product, your whatever it is that you're doing, and move it to the next city and flourish. Sometimes being where you are is not the best place for you. But a lot of people are not willing to move. They're rooted there. They're grounded. They have family there. It's entirely up to you if you want to do that. You have some options. So anyway, I was just going to get to that. Talk about it's a tough market outside of large cities. Again, for creatives, I'll just say that are here in the Charlotte region, it is very difficult for us to make a decent living on a consistent basis. You can go to your typical large city, Chicago, New York, Miami, LA, whatever, and probably do okay. But don't misunderstand me. There are people that are struggling there as well. I'm just saying that there's more opportunity there. It depends on who you network with and build those relationships with. I started out with that. So I always keep that in mind. The other thing you got to think about too, guys, is, and I've done this, but you have to think about, do you look at your business as being a local business? If you do, stop it. Don't, why the hell would you want to make it just local? Start looking at your business as if it is a global business. Start making these connections globally. Whatever that means for you. Again, I'm trying to really speak to my, my creative folks. You can be a creative and work damn near anywhere in the world that you want to, provided you have the connections. You can be on the beach somewhere and working on a 6-figure project. But you have to be, listen, guys, you got to be in the right frame of mind to do that. You have to be in the right frame of mind to do so many of these things. But again, if you're creative here in the Charlotte region, Charlotte is not the easiest place to work. You will always be devalued, almost always. And at some point, you have to learn how to say no. Saying no sometimes will bring you much, much larger things. Listen, I was going to say this too, and I think I may even get sidetracked. I was talking about what black folks are very, very good at. And one of those is we're great at denying other black businesses opportunities. And yeah, in fact, I did talk about that. But we're horrible. I can say we're horrible at it, or we're great at it, however you want to look at it. But those folks who are in power, who have these positions to hire people, typically do not. Here's the other thing too. I've seen in my world, the AV world, big AV companies make huge mistakes. Sound's not working, picture not working, whatever the case is. But that black organization goes right back to them and uses them again. I've made mistakes on projects before, and one I was called back for the next time, but on most of them they will never ever call you back, and we've got to do better with that. We have to do better with that. I think it's freaking awful. Let me talk about this a little bit too, guys. If you have, again, if you're in business, if you're creative and you don't have a damn website, something's wrong with you. So get a website that looks like you know what you're doing. If you're great at the back end of a website, great. Get somebody to dress up your front end. That's the end that people see. So many times people get this website, and I'm thinking to myself, you do web design for a business? You won't be doing it for me. The other thing too is this: if you're in business for yourself and your business is called ABC, why do you have a email address that says tom.bain@gmail.com? That makes zero sense. Zero. Your email should be tombain@abc.com. Get your email together, folks. Get your email together. So, dumb enough not knowing you are killing you. And this is all about support. Lack of support for each other. Black business is no different than any other business. And I was just talking about that. So it's kind of a transition from that over to here. Hold on a second. Yeah. We do not on a regular basis give black businesses a chance or a second chance, but we will give a white business multiple chances to get it right. Why is that? I don't get it. I really don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense to me. Daniel says I can have him on anytime. I think to talk about some of these things that I'm talking about right now. Susan says I appreciate what you are doing and enjoy tonight's topic, but disagree with not believing. What did you say, Susan? Not believing everything that is written in the Bible. Well, okay, that's a religious thing. We can agree to disagree. So. We consume more than anybody in the world. We are the largest consumer of so many things, folks. But if we took 1%, 10%, 5% of the things that we consumed and funneled that into something else that we do, it would be absolutely amazing. But we just don't do it. It's got to be something that we can do to make some major changes. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've been feeling this for the last couple of years or so, but I feel this wave of power through black women. I feel this wave of power through black men. This whole black excellence thing, and it's going to continue for a while. I don't know what it is, but I feel it and I see it, and I'm very happy that I feel and see it. So I'm very proud of that. But we've got to do better than what we have been doing. Let me back up just a little bit, talking about the black media piece again, folks. I wanted to read this off to you. These are the things that these sites that I saw earlier tonight, today. But Black Media Movement, Black News Daily. Go ahead and do your thing, Dan. Positive Black News and Stories, 4 Black Centuries, Hollywood Post, Sin Odyssey Film Festival, Sci-Fi Generation. That's just some of the black media. I just want you to be aware of it. I want you to understand, recognize that black media was the thing that got us through, of course, the 60s, 50s. It got us through a lot of different things. Joe, hey man, it's almost like we prefer to get screwed by the white man than giving black business a second chance. You're absolutely right. Let me read that again. This is what Joe Grimes said. It's almost like we prefer to get screwed by the white man than giving black business a second chance. And he's absolutely right in saying that. I don't get it. I try to support almost any and every black business that I know is around. If I'm looking for a car, I try to find a black salesperson. If I'm looking for a house, of which I'm not, I try to find a black real estate agent. If you're in the need of Shamira, hey, if you're in need of I don't know, audio for a big event that you have, what do you do? Typically, what's going to happen is you go to that hotel and you're going to use whatever services that they have in the hotel. And my question is, why? Will they charge you more? They may charge you a fee to bring in your own company, but you can also get that fee waived. The moment you say to me, well, I'm just going to take my event to another location, that fee is gone. And now you can bring in a black company to do your audio and your video. There are ways to do it, folks, but we always choose this path of least resistance. And you want to, and the thing that kills me is those companies that are in the hotels, they are mega companies. How'd they get that way? Well, they got that way because you kept giving them money. How is it that some of the black-owned businesses do not get ahead? Because you don't funnel them money. You don't use them. You don't pay them. I had a black event planner to hire me. Project was over. She didn't pay me. I don't understand why we purposely screw each other like that. I don't get it, and I hate it. It bugs the crap out of me. Let me clarify something for somebody. Somebody was made a comment on the feed about the Bible, my comment about the Bible. Listen, I've got nothing against the Bible, nothing against the Quran, nothing against any of it. What I'm telling you is I don't put blind faith into it. Because some things that are in the Bible says that slavery is okay. Well, guess what? Slavery is not okay. So again, I've got nothing against it. I pray to God on a regular basis. But again, I don't take things I don't look at stuff with a blind faith. I just don't do that. Now, do I give God, do I have total trust in God? Sure I do. Sure I do. Excuse me. I just wanted to go and clear that up. For some people, I didn't want to get into this huge religious debate with somebody. Ooh, excuse me. If I do have that debate, if I'm going to talk to somebody about the Bible, I want them here in the studio. And I've been trying to do that. I did that all last year, wanting somebody to come in to the studio so we can talk about the Bible. Nobody came to talk to me about it. I have questions. And I can almost guarantee you're not going to have an answer for all of them. So anyway, if you know somebody who wants to come on the show, talk about the Bible, let's talk about it. Timon says it's about being screwed or about the business that needs a second chance. Steve, just talk about, oh wait, just see more. Oh Lord, you wrote a whole book. Talk about, Timon, I need my glasses. Being screwed or being able to take your hard-earned discretionary income to a business that performs and meets the needs for which you're bringing your patronage. Listen, Timon's going to be talking about this shit too on his show. I'm sorry, the stuff on his show too. A business that needs a second chance. You know something? Here's the thing. We bottom line is we got to do better with it. We have to be better at it. We have to be better at supporting each other. If somebody looks like you, support them. Support them. Ask them, hey, brother, what business are you in? Sister, what business do you do? Okay, cool. I support you. What do you do? Oh, you're a photographer? Sure, I'll hire you. Let's do that. We have a ton of creative people here in the Charlotte region that are underutilized. And we have all these folks in these big banks, big industries, big companies that are in these positions that could hire them, but they don't do it enough. Why isn't John Strayhorn's company big enough where he has several photographers under his business on a consistent basis? Why is it that, oh God, I can't think of that audio company now that's in Charlotte, but B of A hired them like 20 years ago. They've never lost a contract. It's an AV company. They're right there on Central Avenue. They've had a contract with them for 1,000 freaking years. And Bank of America will never let that for some reason, they won't let it go. I don't know what the problem is. I tried to, this was years ago, tried to get them to hire me to provide AV services to B of A and never got that. Go figure. So, Shamira, facts. Yeah, you're right about that, facts. And let me just say this: Shamira, she's a friend of mine. She has been on the show once. She came in last year during Women's History Month. Phenomenal woman, and she's got a lot to say. I'm proud of the track that she's on. You're going to be hearing and seeing a lot from her in the coming months, years, or whatever. She's going to be a hell of a force to kind of deal with. So I'm very, very proud of her. But anyway, folks. Back to Black media, and because I really wanted to talk about this. Hey, Tom, listen, the moment that you lose the ability to write about the things that are truthful to you and people that look like you, you're done. You're done. So again, my point is you got to help and got to support black media. It is so, and let me back up just a little bit. Talk about this. When you guys when these conferences come into town, or somebody's having a conference, the moment you go to the convention center, you better ask for a black company that's going to be doing your AV. Ask for a black company that's doing your damn AV instead of going for the company that's always there. Lining the pockets of the people that are there. You're lining the pockets. We get tired of that crap. So anyway, support black media, folks. Please support us. Again, Huffington Post they had a really good article out there about African American owned themed TV stations. Again, I want you to look at, let me back up. Where'd it go? Sin Odyssey Film Festival is here in Charlotte, and they do phenomenal work. I really wish that you would, guys, we got to support him. Trey McGriff has done some amazing things with this film festival. When I think I went to both, but I know I went to the last one. There was just not enough people there, and it saddened me. People say, I'm really not into the, film festival thing. Well, get into it. Support him. Are you only into when Charlotte has a big food event downtown or the racing or the typical things that Charlotte does? The way that Sin Odyssey Film Festival becomes typical is that you continue to support it and it becomes big and big and big. Let me just say this. BET didn't start out the way that it is right now, of which, of course, it's not black owned anymore. But TV One did not start out the way that it is right now. They started out very, very small. Apple Computers did not start out the way that it is right now, which is a multi-billion-dollar company. It started out very, very small. What I'm saying, folks, is there's a lot of small companies, media companies, even here in the Charlotte region, mine being one of them, that need your support. We've started producing great shows, but we need that support. I've had people calling me from Texas, Ohio, Florida, and the Caribbean, and some other places. But my point is, our reach with our network of shows, we've been able to reach people around the country, and we reach people in the Caribbean, and I'm guessing we are reaching people that are around the world as well. Listen, I don't know. I don't know what those numbers look like, to be very, very honest with you. I just know that we're reaching people from way outside of Charlotte. And that was my point when I started this network. Got to get out there and reach people. Undervalued, where'd it go? Support. I gotta talk about this one more time, folks, about this support thing. It just bugs me, though, that we don't support each other the way that we should. We would much rather hire that white company because of whatever. We don't put a second thought into it. We don't. A lot of people talk about black excellence. A lot of people talk about how well we're doing. To be honest with you, it's bullshit. You're not supporting the people that you should be supporting. Again, when you're having a conference about something, think about the people that you're hiring. Think about the people that are catering it. Bring in a black company that caters. And guess what? If for some strange ass reason they put in Jell-O instead of something that you wanted, don't beat them up. Give them a second chance. We're not good about that, folks. We're just not good at hiring people, hiring us again. You just I don't know. Do you feel better when you see white folks working with you or for you or something? I don't know. Is that some thing that you got about yourself? I don't know what that is, but I don't get it. It irks me. What happened? Oh, the show, is it gone? Hold on. Let me check something real quick, guys. Sorry about that, folks. I thought the show had gone off, but it's still there. So Susan's back. Susan, what you talking about? See if I believe. Many of us do not believe in ourselves, our strength and talent, while others do, and always trying to stifle us. Yeah, listen, Susan is right. I mean, I think we do have a self-esteem issue at whatever level. And it really kind of goes back to what Eli Davis was talking about in terms of epigenetics. We have these things that are tagged in our DNA from years ago. And the things I'm talking about right now, some of you will listen to this and say, Steve, you're talking about some old BS right now. That does not exist. Well, guess what? A lot of people say the Holocaust didn't exist. It did. So it's going to take us a long time to get through this. I can begin to see it and feel it right now. Excuse me. But we have to continue to do what we are doing. I am Time. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Time. Appreciate it. So let me just say this, folks, about black media and getting us out there. I started this network because we didn't have a platform to go to. I started this network because there was we have so many stories to tell, so many ways to tell us, so many issues that are confronting us, and there was no place to really talk about it. Now you have it, and I'm telling you to use it. My goal, guys, is to make this network into a household name. Not just right here, but an international name. Some of the things that we need to do, some strides have been made to make a partnership with some agencies in Africa. That has begun. I am not joking when I tell you that this is going to be a global company. But I need your support. And some of you looking at me right now saying, man, please, I am not supporting this mess. That's okay. And they said the same thing about Apple, same thing about BET, same thing about so many different things. That's fine. But thanks. Shout out to those folks who really believe in what we're doing right now. I can tell my ass is getting tired because I'm stumbling. But thank you for guys, for everything that you've done for me so far. I truly, truly appreciate it. I just wanted to come to you tonight after the conversation that I had yesterday with everybody while I was sitting in my car. And thank you. It was important enough for me to go ahead and do this again tonight to reach a larger audience. I want you to look back in I don't know how many years down the road, maybe it's a year, and say, God, I remember those conversations Steve used to have about his network, and now, wow, look at it. Now they have their own programming, and now they have, their own documentary series. Now they have all these things that he was talking about. Yeah, because it's going to happen. It is going to happen. Listen, folks, there's a lot of things that we don't talk about. We don't talk about alcoholism. We don't talk about being on drugs, drug addiction. We don't talk about just so many things. And again, here's a platform that we can actually talk about it. If you talk about it, that means you're helping somebody. It does. It really means that. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Joe, that's my man, Joe. Okay, anyway, I think I'm done for tonight. Let me tell you about what's happening tomorrow. On tomorrow's show, on Timon's show, Frankly Speaking, they're going to be talking about, he and Jonathan Metcalf going to be talking about incarceration in America, the conflict, causes, and concerns for modern Black America. Modern Black America. No matter how new your ass gets, you're still going to be incarcerated. Jails is a money-making system. And they get paid more when they fill the jails up. They get paid more. So guess what? It's easier to arrest us. So they can fill the jails with us and any other brown person that they can find. It makes money. To many of those folks who own these jails, we look like a dollar bill. It's just the truth of the matter, guys. It really is. And so, again, Time is going to be talking about that tomorrow. Shamar says people's belief in your vision is not necessary for it to go forth. It is already in the mix. Oh, I'm sorry, in the making. Shamar, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I agree with you. It is. I'm not begging for nobody's damn support. I'm just simply saying, listen, I would love for you to support what we're doing. We're going to make it regardless. We're going to make it. Deborah Ali, Global King. Girl, you crazy. 13th, thank you, Tom. 13th is a major movie, guys. I already mentioned it once already, but 13th is I'm telling you, if nothing else, you got to watch that movie. And by the end of it, you're going to be pissed off. You're going to be angry at the things that are in place to make sure that you don't get ahead. They are in place to make sure that you don't get ahead. And you don't even know it. Well, I take that back. So many of these things are in plain view, but we do nothing about it because we don't know about it. So it's a child support system. You're absolutely right. Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, folks, I'm done for tonight. Thank you. Thanks to everybody really for checking me out, listening to me. I was, solo tonight. Joel Ford was supposed to have a show, and he had to do some other things. Listen, when people have a job, they got a job, and they got to go and do that job. But I don't mind coming in and doing this. This is phenomenal, and I appreciate it. But again, tomorrow night, incarceration, frankly speaking, with Timon Farley, and it's going to be a great show. So, folks, have a great night. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your support for watching, because I'm telling you that financial support is going to be coming very, very soon. It's coming. So thanks a lot, folks. Have a good night, and we'll talk soon. See ya.